Uh, Andrew is cooking in the kitchen, and that's the best place for him right now. And Jamie is on holiday. So, yeah, just me today. So it'll be a short one. Just want to round up um, the week's news and some of the alpha that's come out this week through all the press stuff that Andrew and Jesse have been doing. So I've got a little cheat sheet here. Um, let's start with kind of 2 weeks ago, actually, and that brutal week where we saw the share price tank, I think, best part of 60%. Um, I think I'm right in saying that's our biggest drawdown yet, but maybe someone will correct me. Um, but this week we are so back. We've had two 25% days on the trot. We had over 8% yesterday, and we're ticking up nicely today. So I think the ATM will have had some serious use, and we're waiting on uh, the results of that. My feeling is it's any day now. It could be the end of today, provided Monday's a green day. I'm pretty certain it'll be fully utilised by then. Not financial advice. The actual kind of news that's come out. Oh, well, while I'm talking about share price, let's just share where we're at. There we go. Okay, so that's our massive drawdown, bit of flat, and then nice solid recovery this week, heading back north, which is where we like it. 345 is the mid price at the moment. I'm pretty happy with that. That's decent. Had we not had the huge bump, I think I'd still be happy with that. We went from what I would personally say is overbought, uh, down to a dip of definitely oversold. I think where Andrew chose to raise at around £2.90, I think it um, was was kind of fair valuation at the time. Since then, we've raised another, what is it, 41, 42 million pounds, and we bought a bunch more Bitcoin, which I'll get into in a second. Um, so anything above 292, well, in my opinion, anything below £4 is undervalued at the moment, um, based off the new net asset value. Our MNAV is I think trotting along just over 7 at the moment. Some people reckon that's probably right. I think that's a bit cheap at the moment. Uh, so this week we bought 230 Bitcoin, our biggest Bitcoin purchase yet, taking us to 773 Bitcoin. What I particularly liked about that announcement, though, was that Andrew added in that there's now approximately 38 million in the left in the treasury in cash to buy more Bitcoin. That transparency, I believe, we're the only Bitcoin treasury in the world that's offered that level of transparency. I think Andrew just week on week keeps raising the bar, not just on his execution, not just on looking after retail, but really with the transparency and the kind of ethics, I guess, of the business. And I don't know. I've never seen someone try to look after retail like this, and it's fantastic. Back to the ATM, I think um, we're all excited to hear how it's gone. My estimation, uh, if it was completed around today or Monday, would be that we would be looking at somewhere between 20 and 25 million pounds raised, so a little over £3 a share for the 7 million. It's an estimation, but that's kind of where I've got to trying to work it out roughly. With that 38 million in the bank and the 773 Bitcoin, we can now, if purchased at today's prices, get to over 1200 Bitcoin. That is 1200 Bitcoin in seven, 7.5, 8 weeks, something like that. Um, Absolutely phenomenal. I don't think any other company has grown at this. Well, no, I know no other company has grown at this rate. Um, and Andrew's next target, which he revealed this week on the Spaces with Jesse, is 2100 Bitcoin. Well, if we're already at 1200 and assuming money keeps coming in incrementally larger amounts, I think we'll be hitting 2100 this month. I don't think that's out of the question. The the next question then is where do we go from there? And Andrew did another. I mean, he's been doing so much press stuff this week. He did another appearance this time at the Peterhouse Capital event yesterday, and the eagle-eyed people on X managed to spot that one of the bullet points on the slide says, "Can we get to 1% of all Bitcoin?" Well, that's 210,000 Bitcoin. That's a target. That's a pretty fucking cool target. And I believe SWC can get there. I don't know when. I'm not very good at forward projections myself, but that is something to aim for. And I think it starts to then align us with the peers that I think we need to be compared against, the likes of Metaplanet. Um, I believe that's their current target. So, thinking along those lines, that's pretty cool. At the same event, Andrew revealed that, when he spoke to Sailor, the preferred share offerings, Sailor suggested that they should be called Smarter Strike, Smarter Strife, Smarter Stride, which I think is awesome. Um, and the fact that he's now talking about that in public says to me it's very much game on. This is something that is in the roadmap, and he's talking about it again, increasing transparency week on week. I believe I've heard reports that he also mentioned that when the net asset value of the business hits 400 to 500 million, that's when they could come into play. I mean, that's only a 4 to 5x from here. I know it's a lot of money, but we're growing at an incredible rate. Some people think next year. I'm wondering if it could be as soon as, I don't know, October, November. Not financial advice. The really key thing for me, and I think Zink's highlighted this in one of his posts on X, was that there's at a conservative estimate, there's £5 trillion in the UK bond market. If we just went after 1% of that, that's £50 billion that could be tapped using these preferred um, offerings. That's huge. And imagine the ATM on that. It's not diluting the main stock. It's so accretive and so beneficial to us as shareholders. I think once that launches, it's maybe not moon time, but it's the rockets are on. And in the meantime, the ATM is going to grow. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And, with raises on top of that, it's looking pretty powerful how we can get to some pretty big numbers in the not too distant future. Going back to the first inaugural Andrew and Jesse Spaces, um, there were two main kind of bits of alpha that came out of that for me. the really big one was that there are multiple long-term, deep-pocketed investors that are now interested in SWC. I don't know who they are, but if you look at Metaplanet, could it be it's capital something? Um, could it be someone like that? You know, they've put, I believe, $100 million into Metaplanet. They could be coming our way soon, or is it someone else? But the point is, that there's multiple, and that means Andrew has the bargaining power to keep it at a non-discounted rate. And that's again, one of the things that sets SWC apart in my book is this: no, we're not, unless we absolutely have to, we're not going to raise at a discount. He has no intention of doing it, and if there's multiple investors interested, he's got the negotiating power to say, look, I'll take your money, but it's on my terms. So I love that. There's also a new deck coming soon, a new investor deck. So I'm really excited to see that. I think it's going to lay out, again, a lot more transparency, a lot more information for us, and give us kind of a lot more of a feel as to where, I don't know, maybe the next 3, 6, 12 months go. I'm hoping it's kind of any day soon, based on what they said in the spaces on Tuesday night. Then Andrew was on CNBC yesterday morning on Squawk Box Europe. You can find it on YouTube, and I think Nick posted a clip of it on X, so that's out there. I think Andrew did phenomenally. He was badgered, he was talked over, cut off, given a pretty hard time by the interviewer, and in my view, he didn't get annoyed. He didn't, stumble over anything. He just reiterated his points, and then they moved on. Did not enjoy the interviewer's technique, and I actually tuned in early and watched him interviewing a telecoms guy about 10 minutes earlier, and just the difference in dynamic. He was pally, chummy. I'd go for a drink with you with the telecoms guy, and then he was like a pit bull with Andrew. Just an observation. Andrew was also on the Bitcoin Libertarian podcast, which came out on Wednesday, I think, or maybe it's Tuesday. I haven't personally watched it yet. It's on my list for this weekend, but I've heard there's some alpha around the sort of acquisition strategy, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. And yeah, I'm going to get on that this weekend. And then finally, before I wrap up, I just want to thank everyone in the community on X. We've got to over 3,000 people. It's amazing. It's down to you guys. You make it what it is. You're posting your questions. You're helping each other out. It's great to see, and I'm very grateful that you're all there. It's, as pointed out by Roaring Ragnar, it's now the third largest Bitcoin treasury group on X, behind MSTR and Metaplanet, which is mind blowing. 7.5 weeks. Well, the group's probably only been going for 6 weeks or so, and it's the third largest treasury group. Again, blows my mind. Just like SWC blows my mind on a weekly basis. So thank you all. I look forward to, I believe, speaking with Andrew next week, but I do need to check and confirm that. And hopefully this has been useful to you to make up for the fact that it's just been me. There is a recorded show coming out at 12:30 today with Grain of Salt and his interesting take on SWC. It's pretty bullish, I'm not going to lie. Thank you all. Catch you another time.